Damn. Stephanie White, you promised Natasha Howard something in Indiana upon her return, which I believe that's why this lady was talking about, oh, I would like to win MVP and all of this other nonsense. And Natasha Howard went and put out a statement saying, look, I'm rolling with Cheryl Reeve. Make no mistake about it. I'm rolling with Cheryl Reeve. She has my back. I have her back. It's nice to have a coach that has their...
Natasha Howard, a player who has worn the Indiana Fever uniform, just eviscerated her former head coach, Stephanie White, while simultaneously pledging her undying loyalty to Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve. This isn't just a player praising a new coach. It's a public execution of Stephanie White's credibility, and it all stems from a moment that exposed the league's deepest, most dangerous fault line. The WNBA has a new star in Caitlin Clark, a transcendent talent who is also a polarizing lightning rod, and the league's reaction to a brutal on-court assault has laid bare a culture of resentment, jealousy, and shocking incompetence. This was never just about Alyssa Thomas's foul. The narrative exploded not just because of the physicality, but because of the silence that preceded it. For weeks, the whispers were that Stephanie White didn't truly have Caitlin Clark's back. It was a rumor, a nagging suspicion that her veteran coach was more concerned with appeasing a locker room full of established stars than protecting her franchise cornerstone. It took Alyssa Thomas driving a fist to Caitlin Clark's throat for White to finally speak up, and by then, the damage was done. Now, Natasha Howard has confirmed the suspicion in the most brutal way possible. She didn't just leave Indiana, she escaped a coach who wouldn't fight for her players. The 2026 season is supposed to be about dynasty building. Instead, it's been set on fire by Natasha Howard, Caitlin Clark, Alyssa Thomas, and the spectacular implosion of the Fever's leadership. The drama unfolded faster than a fast break.
We have all called into question Stephanie White not having Caitlin Clark back, not having her best interest, all the way up until it took Caitlin Clark having a fist on her damn throat for this coach to say something and acknowledge her. It took Caitlin Clark having a knee to her private area and a fist to her damn throat for this coach to say something. Now you got Natasha Howard blasting you.
The immediate fallout wasn't just about the league's weak punishment. It was about the profound disconnect between Stephanie White and her team. When White finally addressed the Caitlin Clark assault, it felt forced, a PR response triggered only by a near decapitation of her star. It was too little, too late. Natasha Howard, who had just left Indiana, heard that hollow tone and made her move. She was quoting Cheryl Reeve, the Minnesota coach who had just signed her, praising a culture of protection. "It's nice to have a coach that has their players' backs," Howard said, a line that was less a compliment to Reeve and more a tactical nuclear strike on White. The implication was clear: in Indianapolis, you are alone on the island. The long-term strategic consequences of this are catastrophic for the Fever. The WNBA is a players' league, and the top free agents in the world watch the social media feed. Natasha Howard just sent a message to every player agent in the sport. Stephanie White promises you something, but she won't fight for you when the bullets fly. This isn't just about losing one player, it's about destroying the franchise's ability to recruit. Why would a high-profile veteran want to play with Caitlin Clark if it means being thrown to the wolves while the head coach dithers? Alyssa Thomas, meanwhile, is walking away with a one-game suspension, a slap on the wrist that has emboldened the league's hardcore defenders. The WNBA's front office, desperate to look tough yet terrified of upsetting their veteran core, bungled the response so badly that they made the rookie Caitlin Clark look like she was the problem. This has fractured the Fever locker room beyond repair, creating an insurmountable rift between the Caitlin Clark era and the Stephanie White regime. It's a fracture that threatens to derail Caitlin Clark's career before it truly begins. To understand the savagery of the Natasha Howard blast, you have to understand the psychology of the WNBA's veteran guard.
Take a look at this nonsense. You got Tip Hayes all on social media. Did you know organizations often interpret rules differently when millions of dollars are at stake? Talking about in reference to the Alyssa Thomas, Caitlin Clark situation, where Alyssa Thomas, I feel, got a slap on the wrist and it's a joke. The one-game suspension made the WNBA look more than a joke of what it's already been. The fact that she got one game.
When Tip Hayes and Natasha Mack started chiming in, defending Alyssa Thomas and questioning the suspension, they weren't just defending a teammate, they were defending a dynasty of dominance. For decades, the WNBA was a gritty, physical league where rookies were baptized in fire. They believe Caitlin Clark is the beneficiary of a white privilege double standard, where an aggressive foul is suddenly an assault simply because it's against a white superstar. They are wrong, and they are losing their grip on reality. Alyssa Thomas didn't just give a hard foul, she specifically targeted Caitlin Clark's throat with a closed fist. In any league, the NBA, the NFL, professional hockey, that is an ejection and a multi-game suspension. The WNBA gave her a single game because they are scared of their own players. This is a deep analytical failure on the part of the league office. They are treating Caitlin Clark like an intruder, not a savior. While Caitlin Clark's arrival has brought unprecedented viewership, money, and attention, the players, led by the likes of Natasha Mack and DJ Carrington, are acting like gatekeepers of an exclusive club. When DJ Carrington reposts conspiracy theories about the Alyssa Thomas suspension, she is tapping into a deep well of anti-Caitlin Clark sentiment that is destroying the league's reputation. The world is watching. The world sees Alyssa Thomas get a single game. The world sees Natasha Mack co-signing it. The world sees Caitlin Clark get assaulted, and the WNBA players respond by blaming the victim. The league compared to the NFL or NBA is a joke in this regard. The player discipline is arbitrary and emotional. This isn't about basketball, this is about a class war within the locker rooms. Alyssa Thomas represents the old guard, and Caitlin Clark is the usurper. The veterans have decided the usurper must be physically intimidated, and they expect a pass for doing so. The fact that they are getting that pass is a stain on the sport.
DiJonai getting involved in anti-Caitlin narratives again by reposting the below tweets. Okay. And this was, it says, why wasn't this also a suspension in reference to the Sophie Cunningham situation with the Connecticut Sun last year? We all know how that debacle played out. Okay, and that was in response to this, where it says Alyssa Thomas suspended one game for recklessly making contact with her fist to throat of Caitlin Clark.
DJ Carrington is irrelevant without Caitlin Clark's name in her mouth. She knows it. The league knows it. Yet the WNBA is allowing these players to drive the golden goose out of town. The chemistry in Indiana is shattered. If a player like Natasha Howard, a respected veteran, calls you out for cowardice, the locker room is dead. How can Stephanie White draw up plays for Caitlin Clark when the rest of the team looks at White with contempt for failing to protect the star? The pick-and-roll offense White abandoned out of fear of being predictable is a symbol of her cowardice. While Cheryl Reeve is empowering Natasha Howard and Olivia Miles to dominate, White is playing 4D chess, so far outside the box that she's lost the game. The Fever is going to be a disaster this year. They are going to be a dysfunctional, toxic environment where Caitlin Clark is forced to fend for herself while her coach stands frozen on the sidelines. The high-stakes climax of this story is a war for the soul of the league. You have Christy Sides, an associate head coach, co-signing the assault on Caitlin Clark. This isn't just a player problem, it's a coaching problem. The entire structure is rotting from the inside. If the WNBA doesn't step in and protect Caitlin Clark, they are going to run her out of the league. The predictions are stark. If the Indiana Fever don't fire Stephanie White, if the league doesn't suspend Alyssa Thomas for the full 5-7 games she deserves. If they don't rein in the idiots like Natasha Mack and DJ Carrington, the new money that Caitlin Clark brought to the table will vanish. The sponsors are watching. The TV networks are watching. They aren't going to invest millions in a league where the star player is being targeted for assault and the response is a joke. Alyssa Thomas and her supporters are betting that they can force Caitlin Clark out, but they are wrong. They are betting against the revenue, against the future, and against the fans, and they are going to lose.